All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, all honor, all glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rakakwadash. All right, double honors to the apostles, elders at Great Millstone. Shalom to you, Akim, pushing the work in truth and in sincerity. Coming back at you with another quick lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shai, Lord willing. This is edifying. All right, and simply the name of this lesson is to learn. The Hebrew word lamad. All right, learn. Okay. Because we got to take advantage of the time, that we have. Okay. And here, I'm going to just go into the Edamon online. And here it says, to get knowledge, be cultivated.
I'm kind of obsessed with birds.
Study, read,
And
think
that's
about
not even the best
right?
part.
And the scriptures tell us to meditate, all right, upon the scriptures day and night. Okay, and these are the things that this is supposed to be your foremost focus. Okay, despite all the things that's going on in the world, you are supposed to be locked into who you are, who we truly are. And we're not, professional athletes or professional, singers and entertainers. We're a nation of kings and priests. All right. And these times call for us to, pretty much draw our attention closer to the Lord. All right. So these are the times to what? All right, to learn, because that's the most important thing. Okay. So I want to really quick grab Ephesians 5:16 in the NLT. It says, make the most of every opportunity in these evil days. Okay, because there's coming the time is coming where they will take away the avenues of truth from the internet. All right, there's the scriptures talk about the famine of the word. All right. We know that's coming because Esau has lost the war on information. All right, he's lost that war, and now all he can do is cut the truth. All right, cut the internet. Okay. All right. And so what are we to do? All right, we are to lock in. Okay, and seek the Lord, as the scriptures say, while he may be found. Isaiah 55:6 here. All right. So if you was wondering, what am I supposed to be doing? Okay, because you got a lot of Israelites who are stuck. They don't know what to do, really, truly. Prophecy is heating up. And really the main thing you're supposed to be doing is being locked in the spirit, right? So Isaiah 55, and that's the most important thing, is the most simplest thing. All right. So Isaiah 55:6, it says, seek the Lord while he may be found, call ye upon him while he is near. And how's he going to be found? Of course, through his prophets. All right. It says what in Isaiah 30:20, the Lord give you the bread of adversity and the water of affliction. Yes, shall not their teachers be hid in the corner anymore. You shall hear a word behind thee saying, this is the way. And then the one in Psalms, which is one of my favorite, was Song of Solomon, which is one of my favorite, the Watchman. All right. In fact, let me get that one. Okay, because that's how you find the Lord. All right. And pretty much, either if you find them on the streets, or you find them on the internet. Here, so let me do this. Okay. And the Watchman found. Let's see if it comes up. Yep. There we go. This is Song of Solomon 3:3. It said, the Watchman that go about the city found me, to whom I said, saw ye him whom my soul loveth? And who your soul loveth is the Lord, Yahweh. Okay? And the men of the Lord, the watchmen, the prophets, the teachers, all right, are pretty much set up by the Lord to deliver a message. You know, the scriptures talk about the Lord has set up watchmen upon thy walls. O Jerusalem, who shall never hold their peace day nor night. And then you have that, that leisure of the men of the Lord being set in front of you. Isaiah 30 and 20. I mentioned it. Might as well get it. Okay. So very basic lesson, because you might be confused. What should I be doing in these times? Well, the only thing the only true thing, the only important thing you need to be doing is really being locked in. All right. And being cultivated, which we're going to go into that word back in the Edamon Online, Isaiah 30 and 20. And though the Lord give you the bread of adversity and the water of affliction, we call hell. All right. We went through the worst. All right. We went through, don't even know why I was doing that. We went through the worst things, and there's more things to come. Okay. But it says, yet shall not thy teachers be removed into a corner anymore, but thine eyes shall see thy teachers, and thine ears shall hear a word behind thee, saying, this is the way, walk ye in it, when you turn to the right hand and when you turn to the left. All right. You got a lot of people who say what? I don't follow a man. I'm not listening to a man, but the Lord set it up that way. All right. The prophets are subject to the prophets. Okay. So, and the Ethiopian eunuch said, how shall I know except the man teach me? All right. But of course, those people who say otherwise, that, they can find the truth by themselves. We obviously see that they're not in the spirit. All right. And they don't go by the spirit of this book, the words. All right. And we ought to fear and tremble what the words say. Okay. So let's move on. Okay. Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 1, of course, because there's a lot of things that's, taking place. I did a lesson yesterday. I forgot to play the video in the lesson too. And I might just do it at the end of this to show you, what we're up against. Okay. And so the most important thing to do is the most simplest thing, which everybody overlooks, which is the study and the reading. Those are the things that really truly ground you. All right. So Ecclesiastes 12 and 1, remember now thy creator in the days of thy youth. All right. That's the days when you have strength. Okay. And that's really now. All right. While you have the opportune time. Right. It says, while the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them. And that's now. Okay. Because the days are drawing nigh where evil, is pretty much imminent. The Jacob's trouble is imminent, is around the corner, it's right at the doorstep. Okay. And you have to be cultivated and grounded and rooted. So when the evil times do come, they won't shake you. Okay. There's a lot of people not, taking care of the most important thing, and that's, the maintenance of your heart, maintenance on your mind. All right. And that's through the most simplest thing. So Lamad, learn. All right. Learn. Okay. And let's go back into that Edamon. Let's see. Is that here? Edamon Online. So, man, boy, I tell you. To get knowledge, be cultivated. All right. Study.
I'm kind of obsessed with birds.
Think about it. You know the scriptures talk about meditate. So you think about the scriptures. You read the scripture. All right. Because as the scriptures say, what these things were written for our learning. All right. Well, through patience. Here, let's get it. All right. And Salaki for the background. I'm trying to drown the little monsters out. And they only become wild when you start to do something constructive. All right. But, that's part of the battle. Romans 15:4. It says, for whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we, through patience and comfort of the scriptures, right? Get comfort from reading the scriptures, because our foreparents went through what, they went through a lot. They went through, they got the experience. Okay. And they tried the Lord, and, they have trusted in the Lord, and we see those stories about them overcoming. All right. Which I believe the Hebrew word for overcome is, or to conquer, is manatazak, if I'm not mistaken. And we can look that up really quick. It says that we, through patience and comfort of the scriptures, might have hope. So let me see something really quick. Yeah, so the word for conquer, all right, is manatazak. All right. Manatazak, to conquer or to overcome. All right. And this is what we have to do ultimately. Okay. So let's go back. James 1:5, it says, if any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of the Most High, that giveth to all men, all right, liberally, and upbraideth not. That means he ain't gonna get mad if you ask him. He's not gonna be angry if you ask. Okay? But you gotta ask and believe. Okay? And it says, and it shall be given him, but let him ask in faith, nothing wavering. All right? Because the Lord is a jealous power. And to be a jealous power means he tolerates no unfaithfulness. Okay? So it says, and it shall be given him, but let him ask in faith, not wavering, for he that wavereth is like a wave of the sea, driven with the wind and tossed. All right, so we don't waver. All right, and you toss to and fro. You worried about this, you worried about that. You're unsure. You got low self-esteem, so on and so forth. All right, and that's why it's important to be sincere. All right, and to know your purpose and be serious about your purpose. All right, be serious about the truth. Okay. Because the times are coming where we will be tested. That's without a doubt. What this devil has, and the Lord is allowing it to happen, because he's going to try us. Okay. But what this devil has in store is definitely going to try you. Okay. So it says, for let not that man think that he shall receive anything of the Lord. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. Okay. So we don't want to be double-minded. Okay. We want to be sure of what we're asking and be confident in it and serious about it. All right. 2 Timothy. Oh, it was the one that studied to show thyself approved. Let's see if it comes up. Nope. Is it show or shoe? I think it's shoe. Yep. 2 Timothy 2:15. Study. Read. You gotta read. All right. And there, is plenty of helping tools. All right. because this is what we're supposed to be grounded in. All right, making the how's it go in Ephesians 5:15? Let me get it here on the computer. Let me see, Salakia. It says making the best, or 5:15 NLT. I'm gonna just read it from the computer. 5:16. I'll start at 15. So this is the NLT. It says, so be careful how you live, right? So we got to watch what we're doing. Watch how we're moving. And the scriptures, of course, tell us to be put on as the elect, and we got to walk honestly, not drunken and rioting. And that's basically everything that those who are without the truth are doing. Okay. Don't live like fools, but like those who are wise, because the fool isn't paying attention to the times. They're living as though nothing's going to happen. And we're living with knowing ultimately what's the end of this time. And we know what type of behavior that's going to compromise you. Okay. All right. So we don't live reckless lives. We're on point about everything. We're not taking shortcuts. We're doing what we're supposed to be doing. All right. And, of course, we're not just going throughout the day without anointing ourselves, praying. And that should be one of the biggest things that we're doing, anointing ourselves, praying and fasting, abstaining, and working out. All right. Going to work, actually working, things of that nature, So 2 Timothy 2:15, study to show thyself approved of God, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. And how you also divide the word of truth, you got to apply it. Let's see what it says in the NLT. An approved worker. Work hard so you can present yourself to God and receive his approval. Be a good worker, one who does not need to be ashamed and who correctly explains the word of truth. So you got to explain the word of God, this word of the book, the right way. You can't do it, and you can't do it by winging it. And we know what happens when you wing it. I mean, it's obvious, and you got to start with yourself first, but we got examples of men who wing it. All right. Okay. But we got to pay more close attention to the simple things. And that simple thing is what? Just learning, man. Cultivating yourself. Let's go into this word, cultivate. All right. Technology do not like me today, man. So cultivate.
I'm kind of obsessed with birds.
They call this a cult, right?
That's not the best part.
Cultivation, which is a beautiful lesson, because people call this a cult, which it goes into really worshiping, but here it says cultured, and we're cultured because what? We know who we are, and we're tied to who we are, and this is an everyday thing. So we're reading, we're writing down notes, we're learning. With all thy knowledge get understanding. We get an understanding from what we're reading. All right. And we're not like the Christian, the pseudo Christian, who's, just jumps up and screams Jesus all damn day. And they read one line in the Bible and don't understand the true context or the volume of the book and say, oh, anybody can be saved. No, that's not rightly dividing the truth. Okay. You got to know this thing.
Make your next trip stress-free with Turo. I heard about Turo from a friend, and I decided to give it a shot. The car was perfect. It was roomy enough to fit all their luggage and had Bluetooth and CarPlay. So for a personalized, flexible, and stress-free car rental experience, Turo is the way to go.
That's dope. Because, you know, we talk about the affliction, right? And that being a process, the hell that we catch being a process and how we're cleaned. But the scriptures also say you're washed by the word. So you're refined by cultivation and being cultivated. You're refined by the word. Let me see. Ephesians 5:26. In the KJV, I got it on my computer here. Ephesians 5:26, that he might sanctify and cleanse it, which is another word for refine, is to cleanse it. All right. Or to make pure with the washing of water by the word, that he might present it to himself a glorious church. Right. You brothers who are part of a church, you know, the church, the Greek word for church is ecclesia, the calling out. So you're part of the body who is calling out to the saints, the elect. All right. Not having spot, okay, or wrinkle. All right. Because we can't have no deceit in our mouth. Otherwise, it would taint the Lord's flock and the blood will be on your hands. All right. But it says, or any such thing, but that it should be holy and without blemish. All right. And so that's what the Lord is. That's what he requires us to be without blemish. So we have to be cultivated. We have to be refined. We have to be educated, which I know what it means, but I ran into a lesson today. I was just doing a lesson today where the elders was going into that word, educate, which to basically draw out. All right. You know, you're being awoken. Or what's the word for it? It's in my notes.
No ads, no ads, no ads. King Shot brings you endless fun without any breaks. It's totally free. Jump into awesome tower defense action. Play round after round to your heart's content and feel the thrill every time you win. Download now and enjoy hours of pure gaming joy.
Well, let's just go into the word then. Oh. I'm looking on my computer. So it says here, taking a path article, it says as an abbreviation, way to say well educated. Nope. Educate verb, bring up children, to train, to occur, to bring up, rear, educate. Let's see more. Yeah, we ain't got to spend too much time, but we know it means to draw out. And I can't find it in my notes right now, so Salakia.
You are a stubborn one, aren't you?
And I'm still looking, so I'm still looking. But yeah.
Bad news for you, Jiren.
So going back, let's see if we have any more. Oh, I wanted to show that video. Give me a second. All right, so fair use. This is for education or educational purposes only. All right. Fair use, fair use. I wanted to show this because I wanted to play this in the video that I did yesterday. But I absolutely forgot. And the truth of the matter is I got sick. I got really sick, and my body was just shutting down, you know. So I kind of just forgot in the moment, because I wanted to really bring this out, just to add to points that I was making as I was reading from ChatGPT. But this is a good documentary, all right. From Oracle Films, The Agenda. The elder Yashawamba posted this, and I ain't finished it yet, but I'm halfway through it. But I just went back to this point, almost halfway, but I just went back to this point here The point he made. And this is why we got a lot of things that's happening. But the point of this lesson, man, is, the most important thing we're supposed to be doing is really being grounded in this word and really truly believing in this word, and truly meditating upon this and, how can I say, consuming, but having this a part of us, like in our DNA, so to speak. But to help Slaki, without further ado, here we go.
Obviously not good for health, also because of all the electromagnetic radiation. In the long term, the plan is to pretty much lock up humanity in smart cities, which is kind of a superset of a 15-minute city. They've sold all the state and local governments and countries that smart cities are about sustainability and the good of the city. But in reality, the language from the UN and WEF and their white papers is all inverted.
Right. And that's what I was going into yesterday. It's double speak. It's ambiguous. They have a completely different meaning. When they present something and they're talking about this is for the good, we're here to bring peace, or we're here to bring democracy. It's not it's not what they're making it seem to be. In fact, it's a hidden agenda.
So, air monitoring is really about limiting mobility and no car ownership. Right? Surveillance, control via LED grid is why the smart lighting is there.
Right. So no traveling, mass surveillance. Okay. And I literally, I'm a maintenance tech, so I'm actually working at a potential 15-minute city. Okay. Well, this billionaire is buying up these buildings. Okay. And, he got the apartment buildings, and, you got the market buildings, but, they sell and stuff like that. And they're trying to build a school on the grounds, and so on and so forth. So we're seeing this thing unfold, and this thing is only going to get more, it's only going to get more tread, as we come. And I hope this wasn't too loud, man. I was just using this music in the background to drown out the kids. But here we go.
Water management is about water rationing. Noise pollution is about speed surveillance. Traffic monitoring is about limiting mobility. And then, of course, energy conservation is all about rationing heat, electricity, and gasoline. Another concept one should be familiar with is called geofencing, and think of it as an invisible fence around you, where you cannot go beyond a certain point, and that will be related to your face recognition, digital identity, and access control.
Yeah, and that's why right now they got this thing called the Orb, a real thing where they're scanning people and to give you a digital ID. Okay. This is a real thing, man. It's a real thing. Okay. And they just introduced it to the UK. And they've done it here in America. And then they got tens of millions of people already scanned and gave them a digital ID. But also the incentive is cryptocurrency, WorldCoin. If you allow this thing to scan you. So we ain't just making this up. Okay? We're not just making this up.
Smart contracts, software can turn off your digital currency beyond a certain point from your house.
See? You see that? So you ain't going to be able to buy outside the geofence, wherever they have you geofenced at. Okay? Your currency ain't going to work outside of the parameters, or wherever they set the parameters. Okay.
Our world has been turned into a digital panopticon. That means you can be monitored, analyzed, managed, and monetized.
Right. This is that new world order. And guess what's going to be at the center of it? The RFID chip. Okay? The RFID chip was the MOTB. Okay? Which now IUIC is saying, you know, that if you took the JAB, you know, like Pops from Friday, the JOB or the JAB, right? You can is a prelude to taking the CHIP, okay? All right, when they should have told their congregation not to take that JAB, which led in many deaths. But hey, whatever. You want to follow them, then go ahead. Who cares? We don't give a damn.
Surveillance capitalists are already making billions of dollars selling our information to big corporations, because this kind of detailed knowledge enables them to predict and influence our behavior.
Yeah, watch this documentary. It's very good. It's definitely going to give you insight on the world that Esau is trying to, which he's pretty much bringing and right in front of our eyes. Okay, where everybody is distracted by the war and these different scandals with these different entertainers, and Esau is moving to capstone his enterprise. All right, but the Lord gonna cut him short. So I just wanted to show you that video. Man, hopefully, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. I just wanted to, kind of go on the spirit, Hebrew word, and then, some precepts to show you, really, the most important thing in our time is to be learning right now. It ain't anything else. I could just tell you that, it ain't prepping and all that other stuff. You spiritually prep by what? Cultivating yourself, being rooted and grounded in this truth, and studying to get understanding. So with that, I'm gonna leave you until next time. Let's say shalom.